The tune that I'm going to play was written by Oscar Pettiford, and it's entitled Kamman's A Comin'.
Hello, this is Leigh Kamman, and I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me to sit in before these cameras.
How comfortable are you?
Not quite. I'm an audio person rather than a visual person. And I've been living that way undercover for some 60 years in the business.
It's 6 o'clock Saturday evening, and it's time to welcome you once again to the stage of the Post Theater at Fitzsimmons General Hospital in Denver, Colorado. The Medical Department of the United States Army invites you to join us for 30 minutes of popular music played by the Fitzsimmons Bounce Battalion, a khaki-clad group of 17 top-flight GI musicians stationed at this, one of the largest Army General Hospitals. Chief Warrant Officer...
I'm Percy Hughes. I've been in music since I was 11. And I met Leigh Kamman after I came out of an Army Ground Force band. When I first came out of the service, nightclubs didn't want blacks unless you were a single, a pianist. Percy Hughes band back in the 40s after the Second War, no way possible. But along came Leigh Kamman. All of a sudden we have a jazz expert amongst us who is on the radio. He's selling us. Treasure Inn would be crowded with college kids because Leigh Kamman.
My name is Kathy Vi, and I'm Leigh Kamman's oldest daughter. I was born in Duluth, and shortly after that we moved to New York City. Show business is a hard life. There's been a lot of financial uncertainty, but he had fun. There was always music in our house, and dancing, and lots of fun, and family. Always family and friends around. Well, I remember opening the door one day for Quincy Jones. He had come over to use the piano, Mom's upright. But as far as really tasting Harlem and the streets of it, it all came through the radio, and there were many, many nights that I fell asleep to the sound of Dad's voice.
It's good night along the NBC line.
And then from Count Basie and the Stars from Birdland.
My name is Brad Bellows, and I'm a valve trombone player here in Minneapolis. Leigh and I go back to 1972 is when we met. He actually married my mother in the end of that year, and I became friends and family.
From practically the headwaters of the Mississippi, welcome to Mississippi Jazz, or Mill City style as we call it.
I think he loved the music, and I think that comes across on the radio.
Here they are opening things up with something very special. Till we meet again.
What Dad's art is all about is making us take a look at a genre of jazz as something very special. This medium, this idiom that's uniquely American, is just as special and deserves the kind of royal treatment that other forms of art do.
To describe jazz in the spoken language of English, for me, is a challenge. And here we are, floating down through the night, from London to wherever you want to go.
Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own.
And we must make this music live, because that's what it's about. It's one of the components of the American idiom and history and democracy, and it had a language to speak.
I'm Bill Kling, and I'm the president of Minnesota Public Radio, and I have been here as long as Leigh has.
The Jazz Image this weekend.
I remember listening to him in the very early days of Minnesota Public Radio. The show was heard in Boston, New York, and Collegeville. And Norman J. O'Connor used to talk about the Collegeville, New York, Boston axis, which is kind of hard to imagine. But it was part of our tradition, and Leigh became part of that 34 years ago, and really was the one that endured and was the one that really made the reputation for Minnesota Public Radio and jazz.
Thank goodness for Minnesota Public Radio and Leigh Kamman. They were a perfect team.
It hasn't been easy for Minnesota Public Radio to keep this 1973 vintage program alive all this time, for which I thank them.
He taught me to listen and to appreciate the talents of others and to keep friends and connections and cherish them. I wish for him some good work to do, because he's always best when he's doing some good work, and some well-deserved R&R.
I hope he has fun in life and goes to those places that he so eloquently mentions during his show.
He should do what he wants to do the rest of his life. And it's not going to change. It'll still be jazz.
You and I have had a journey. My name is Leigh Kamman. Away we go. Have a good weekend, what's left of it.